So yeah, let's just take a reminder of the deck. We're juggling cats here. We've got 3 panthers and a bad kitty. But we're doing aggro Orzhov without any grandmas, which is unfortunate. But it has worked out so far on card quality. We have enough ways to trigger the juggler that's been working out. Mountain is in for the double trumpeter. Miser's Mountain. It's actually been relevant every time we've had the Mountain, basically. Like, these are, 1/3 menace for 2 is justifiable when you have 4 jugglers, but it's really the activated ability that makes that card a little more playable, so that's why. Yeah, we drafted this yesterday. We had to I had to wrap up. We had at least 2 more matches to go in this one, so we put it on pause. But hopefully we get another match at least out of this after bombing out of that first one. Would love it for the gem count. I might do some more math over the weekend to figure this out exactly or whatever, but basically, and maybe we'll do it at the end of the stream even, because someone was asking about a common question that I get that I haven't really been answering lately is best of 1 or best of 3, especially when the formats are identical. I'm realizing that when best of 1 and best of 3 match, that's when everybody wants to know which one of those they should play, so I should be answering that when that comes up, and we can look at the spreadsheet later. But basically, I was thinking about the fact that if you're doing your daily grind to the tune of an average of, $12.50 gold a day, you're getting a free draft every 4 days, and your expected gem value from that free draft is going to be at some rate based on your expected win percentage. And so, when we think about breaking even, or, that we have 800 gems already, and we're trying to get to 1,500, because if we get to 1,500, we break even. Well, really, when we're breaking even in that we paid 15 to enter and we got 15 back, yes, that's breaking even, but the system is generating gem revenue for us for free. So really, when you do something where you put in a buy-in for X and cash out for X, you're actually significantly ahead, because in the background you're generating gems through wild card conversion in draft, and generating gold and turning that into draft entries. So you really, we've managed to be effectively infinite, despite on a gem in, gem out level, on an event level, clearly not being infinite. But with that background gem noise, basically we're getting there. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get back in. We're going to jump back into traditional draft Ravnica Allegiance with a current 2-0 record with a Orzhov 4 juggler deck, and see if we can keep the streak going here. And I'm going to remember... Oh, yeah, we're on Battlefield already. I remembered to switch the camera, and it was already there. Darn it. Wasted one. And hello, Banana Jack. Nice new high mark for yourself there, Banana. I like it. Here's the cost of the Mountain. We did actually take out a swamp for the Mountain, so we are we go from a snap keep to a beard stroker, and with the opponent going first and the Panther, we have 3 draws to find black to turn on the Blade Juggler, and I think that's enough to keep. Boo! Worst card in the deck. If we could put every plains in our deck at the bottom of the library right now, I would do so. No need for the Mountain yet, so I'm just going to drop another plains. And this is a tough part, because if we stay back to block, we should block. And then we don't have activation for Juggler. I don't think, and I would like to gamble that we're going to find a black source for the Juggler. I mean, it's not likely that we will. Actually, there are more things. There are more non-swamps than swamps, right? So I'm just trying to decide if we're actually staying back to block the gravel hide. I think we'll send it in. I don't think they'll block. And okay, they're gonna make that trade. That's okay. Basically, I was willing to take that risk since we're not guaranteed to find a swamp anyway. And if we do find our black, we'll be happy that we can pump the trumpeter. Somehow I don't think Oppo will concede to Dirty Boros. I could see us conceding to Dirty Zagana. Yikes. Well, not drawing out the way we hoped. Took the chance. A lot of magic comes down to these mulligan decisions where you understand that you're drawing too many outs to turn on your entire hand and turn it into a real game. We haven't found that yet. If we find it, like, right now, maybe we can come out of this, but Zagana is such a problem, and now they're adding a 5/5, so... Oh, Mortify. Is Mortify even in time? Because if we draw a swamp, then we need to mortify what's going to become an 8/8. Yeah, so this is going to become an 8/8, or are we just dead? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we're just dead. All right. Yeah, thanks, deck. Thanks. Thanks a lot for that. All right, well, there you go. We've had... if you watch yesterday's games, you'll see that this mountain was fairly critical to the trumpeter being a lethal force at the end of the game, but right there it just cost us the ability to play a real game there. And let's see. We're up against big beefy Simic. We could put in a Blade Brand and more Death Touch. That's kind of what we ran into 2 Gruul decks yesterday and ended up bringing in more of our Death Touch for that situation. And I like that here. Maybe even one of these out. What else do we cut? Maybe even cut a Trumpeter. Because we put in the Panther, and maybe I will, cut it going down to 1 Trumpeter, go up on Swamps. Yeah, Trumpeter is just a Spectacle Enabler, but with 2 of them, we found it turns it into a high risk, high gain situation. The Mountain, when it works, is a really significant upgrade to this card. When it costs you the ability to play your hand, that's obviously a big downgrade. I think I'm going to go with this. And we could play something like that, too, as another thing to trade. But this is good. Let's run with this. I think Caracals are worst, too. I would rather have the Trumpeter. Or no, sorry. The is not our worst 2. It's nearly our worst 2, but I would rather have that and a Trumpeter than 2 Trumpeters. I want to try this way and reduce that red risk. Here we are again with a similar conundrum. This time going first. This time with only 2 lands as well. Ugh. Again, if this is a swamp, this is pretty much a sneep. I'm gonna mull again though. This is a nice keep for. We're gonna bin. We need to find land, and I don't think we got 2 Panthers right now. Anyway, the Dead Revels is nice. Helps. Okay. You must get Kitty. But yeah, Dead Revels helps come back from a mulligan. All right, found our third land. That was pretty important. And we get double kitty here. Let's go ahead and send them both. They can trade for either panther. Rubble Belt, hello. Great. You know, I'd love to get our vampire down, but having Demise and 2 Panther activations ready is cool. No good attacks, so we are waiting it out. So it felt like they were more Simic in game 1. Now it looks like they're we just saw a Simic-y side of it, or was I forgetting the red? I can do that. Like I get so focused on my side of the board, I'll go into sideboard and be like, "What colors were they playing?" I can't even remember a single spell they played, which is, you know, a leak. But there you go. With two big creatures, I was fine with leaving them back here, leaving them both back. Choose, okay. Didn't want to miss my activation window there and suddenly wasn't sure. So now, rather than... we hope they don't have a quench here, but we're going to just try and demise the runner. Well, yeah, again, so we could, like, if we attack with a Panther, maybe it is right to be attacking with 1 Panther here. One on defense will, especially with the Trumpeter now being able to block the boar unless they pump it. The question now is whether we'll trade a Panther for a boar. And given that we want to kind of work towards Dead Revels anyway, I don't mind losing a Panther for a boar. So we can do that. Okay, so it was just Zagana was a splash. I think the reason I was thinking Simic is because Zagana was their splashy, no pun intended, powerful card that stuck in my mind. So they took the trade. We thought they would. That's okay. Like I said, we have Dead Revels against this Gruul style. And so this is really our third Gruul opponent. And with our heavy Death Touch, that seems like it ought to be good for us. Maybe we'll see a bigger creature here that they're like, haha, we got the Death Touchers out of the way. Yep. But we're going to send in the Trumpeter and get both of our Death Touchers back here. We have to take a big smack to do so, but worth it. And if we cast correctly, we can even cast one of the cats. We just don't get to keep up the Death Touch activation, but we'll do this. Make sure Auto Tap doesn't work us over. If we get an untapped land, we'll probably go Vindictive Vampire, hold up a activation. Although with that, we really probably just want, yeah, they're dumping their hand, so we need the second cat down. With this result, I was thinking I was going to go Vampire Panther. Although Vampire threatens to block this successfully. This plus a... So this threatens to eat that, or, you know, trade with that. I guess we can take 3. Yeah, we can do it. Let's go Vampire Panther activation. And with them being down to the last card, hopefully this is just us taking 4 from the Runner and the Duelist and holding back the Maka and the Rendhorn, and that seems fine to me. Because now we also threaten draining and stuff when we trade. If they have good spells left in hand, this could go poorly for us, but that was a pretty good... You know, we're closing in on stable here. Yep, Rocket's got issues with the neighborhood. He's issuing his demands. Wowie! All right, that is tougher. Means that even trading with the Rendhorn is going to hurt. And we have to hope that some of this draining that the Vampire is capable of is going to get us out of this now. That is a serious problem over there. Yeah, they don't want to just throw away the Maka. And that leaves us having to decide, we might want to throw away Vampire. Yeah, this is interesting. We need our Panthers to be blocking those 5/5s, and so Oppo is really offering us Rubble Belt for Vindictive Vampire here. And I'm trying to decide if we want to do that or if the drain... Because taking 4 is significant, and instead we could prevent 3 of it and make a trade. And then have Thrall in the air and Trumpeter on the ground for Maka and Panther, and then we're stable. So I'm going to do that because even though the Vampire is an important card for us, it does stabilize, and I guess the other option would be to try and stabilize with the Thrall, but I'm fine with this. I'm going to do it. We're going to accept the trade, accept this offer, because we got a lot of trample damage coming in. And I don't think we can afford to take all of that. In fact, we got to figure out, we got to make sure we live through this next turn. Okay, so maybe we need the activation, so we just have to go Panther. And with the 2 toughness, I think we live. So... Eight points of trample is 7, right? So 7, 12 trample, 11, 10, 9, 8. So 8 trample gets through. 9, so we take 9, but these 2 both die. And then Trumpeter can be on Maka. So if this is a blank, we're stable. If Oppo can remove anything, we are taking our first match loss. But it's tight. This is cool. This is why we play Magic, trying to turn these corners and see if we can get there. If we draw a land, then we have to ask ourselves if we can afford to play Grasping Thrall and leave only 1 Panther activation up. And ooh, okay. We need help. I would love like a Mortify. Like give us a Mortify, then we have 2 activations and can take out the Trollbred. What else could help us? Grotesque Demise could take out the new thing. I'm just looking at what we want to draw here. Final Payment. We could set up a reasonable Final Payment turn. Yeah, Final Payment's nice because we get 2 activations and a Final Payment. So we have like 3 outs I'm pretty happy with. Let's see if we can find one of them. I didn't name this one, but this was kind of a 4th out that we're happy with, because basically what we want is a thing to put on another creature while still giving us this double Panther activation. And does that give us enough to survive the trample? We take 1 in the air and go to 10. And this 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 9. So yeah, again, I think we stabilize at 1 on the current. We have 2 demises. There's 1 demise left in the deck. But it's got to be this, and we hope. We should generally feel pretty good about our matchup against green. I mean, we're 2-0 because our matchup against Gruul has been good so far with all of this death touching, but this trample changes the math a lot, and we are very at risk of sudden death as long as that Trollbred is alive and kicking. Wow, it just keeps getting worse for us. We really need removal for the Trollbred right now. And sadly, this duelist hitting us is legit. Sorry, East, too late. We're drawing our last guild gate now. Or do we have another one? No, we can't. All of our land is basic, so you're safe. The gods cannot work us over for that specificity failure on your part. All right, help us out. Come on. I think we're just dead. We got all the death touch in the world, but we really needed a dead Trollbred. Trollbred is a very good magic card and takes our strategy against these Gruul decks that worked so successfully in the first 2 matches and just says, well, yes, you traded for our creature, but take 5, you know? So, let's see. If we throw out the Thrall, we just can't do anything. All right, so we're gonna throw out this, and we'll make Oppo attack. Make them figure it out, but we're dead here. Pretty dead to a swing away unless they believe we have something in hand. Oh, we might not have been completely dead if they hadn't found 6 mana, but especially with 6 mana. All right, well, they're giving us a chance. Still don't know how we can get there from here, actually, but I'm glad they gave us another chance. Or maybe my math is wrong. Maybe we had it. But look, there we go. Holy moly! And we get to take away the trample at instant speed, as Hexstar Dragon has said. Wow! Thank you, Oppo. We're gonna try and blow you out now. Which is risky. We've allowed them to untap with blue mana, but it seems like the blue is just for a powerful card like, well, like a powerful card like the Duelist, I guess, but Zagana. Oh, and that's another bad, like if they play Zagana here, that would be funny, because then we have 2 things that have the Trollbred text, and we can't beat 2 things with the Trollbred text. Is that doom? I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, maybe I should have used final payment there, but I was just going to do it with whatever we chump with. It doesn't really matter that I didn't sack that. If they swing out, Trumpeter will get in the way of something, and we'll use that as our final payment. Thank you. Yeah, that was, I guess I should, no. We wanted him mid-combat anyway, so this is fine. Maybe, yeah, we just do that. We might as well do, let's see, we'll do this. And go ahead and make the flyer. And I'll threaten this just to see if they have a response. And we'll activate here. And yeah, we get rid of the trumpeter. Okay, so we are going to sacrifice a creature or an enchantment. We're going to target the Trollbred, and we're going to sack the trumpeter. Cool, and we can play Grudian, but now with an activation on Panther and a bunch of small stuff, we'll go ahead and play the Thrall, get a couple life back, be up in the air against the Duelist, and be ready with the Panther. Yo, Oni, welcome. Coming into a tense game here. I think Oppo had lethal, but we had the threat of stuff in hand that made them hold back for a turn, and then we ripped a final payment to try and stabilize. Great. They have added a significant threat, actually. This 4/3. It becomes their actually most powerful card on the table. We could Grudian to add an additional Death Toucher. If we Grasping Thrall... See, if we Grasping Thrall, they have kind of a good attack with Gravelhide plus Axebane, because we can only block with one of our Death Touchers. But maybe it's okay to take 3 there in that situation to have the Thrall down. So yeah, I think that's good. We're going to go ahead and attack with the Thrall and play the second Thrall. Gets us some life total to work with. You know, add some life back. And if Oppo wants to swing with Axebane and Gravelhide, we will look to trade with the Gravelhide and then drop the Grudian next turn to threaten the Axebane or whatever larger creature Oppo comes up with here. Yes, I could trade the Thrall for the Gobbo, but I'm hoping to win the game with the Thralls, and we especially need that now that Zagana is down. Lucky that we got those +1/+1 countered things out of the way. That was an interesting... yeah, this is good for us, actually. I'm happy to make this trade. How many Thralls can we attack with? Let's get a removal spell. How about just something to take out Zagana and make this easy? You don't need to make it hard, Magic Gods. How about just perfect draws from here? Maybe? We'll see. I'm going to say that's an imperfect draw. But what can we do about that? We're going to look to offer the, put the Grudian in front of Zagana and take potential 8 on that transaction. Probably can only attack with 1 Thrall here. We need at least 1 other Thrall to threaten these other creatures. Maybe we can attack with 0 Thralls. Maybe we need to threaten to eat Wayfinder Maka and trade with Gravelhide. But we have I think a healthy enough life total to risk it for a turn, and we really do want to apply. We want to end this game here. So I'm going to risk it and hope that and I'm also going to sandbag this this land, which if I'm going to do, we don't have any onboard activation, so I need to go and do full control to represent. Yes, I think we have to take, well, if we take this, they can't make Zagana 8/8, and we get to force a chump, and we get to attack them down to 2. Interesting offer, Oppo. I think I want to take this. Yeah, oh, that's a good point. We can chump with the spirit and make them do the activation. I like that. That's a good call. Omicron. Let's do that. Let's use this spirit to force the activation. It wasn't doing much anyway, and it really forces their use of mana this turn in a great way. Now, no matter how this turns out, the Magic Gods have given us a great game, so I appreciate that. This is why we play, trying to figure out these puzzles. That's why I like Limited. The puzzles are largely different every time. They have some similar feel or whatever, but I feel like Constructed is about memorizing common interactions between top decks. Now, if we get removal, we just win. Yes! Nice. We get removal and just win. Woo! Wow. Oppo played a little too defensively, and we stole one, folks. We stole one. Nice game. Anything else to change being on the draw for Game 3? Probably not. Our Simic rule plan is the same, so me sideboarding, thinking a Simic. This is a legit consideration. Like, what does it look like if we do that and take out... Yeah, I guess all of the... We take out the Caracal. What about that? Go a little bit more control-y here. I don't like what it does to the Juggler activation, but we still have 4, 5, 6 ways to do that. And we didn't see a single Juggler that game, did we? Our Jugglers have been hiding. It's been kind of weird. Portal. Yeah, we talked about Portal for the surprise Death Touch First Strike, and we could probably get him with that, but I think it's just a little over cute. Like, Portal just becomes another Death Touch, basically, right? Like another Twilight Panther. We use a card to kill a creature. So to me, it's like it's Rube Goldberging an additional Death Toucher, and we have 5 of them already. So that's why I didn't do it before. So, because it's still just a card for a creature. So I'm gonna do this. Yes. You like running... okay, we're gonna keep this. I don't like the double dead early, but... we'll find something else, and yeah, I think we'll keep this. Just gotta find white. Ooh, and they go to 5, so that bodes well for us. Might have to cycle a Blade Brand if we don't get some land help here. I'm just going to demise this. I mean, maybe we don't need to, but what else are we going to, like... They end up getting into really big stuff that demise is going to miss, so let's just get rid of it. We don't have anything else to do except cycle the Blade Brand anyway. Yeah, set rock. So maybe if we could do this over again, I would try like taking out one of the Panthers for the portal, because it is in a similar place as that, but adds a little twist. So maybe but also the Panthers turn on the Jugglers, so there's that. Like maybe if we want to try it, we take the Blade Brand out to give it a try. But speaking of that, I'm going to do this now to try and find land. Found land. Not exactly what I wanted, but it does get us a vampire next turn. We'll find our white eventually. And with two creatures that match up well against what Oppo has presented, and the Dead Revels to keep looping it, I think we have the... We certainly have the attrition tools to go long here. We'll see if they hold up. That was a good trick from Oppo, but we can't not go for that stuff. Another creature you control. Looks like we're gonna take another 3 here at least. Really just need to find white, and then I'll feel very good about the rest of the game here. That's... Well, Vargan, the first strike is super relevant against Gruul because we have 1,000,000 Death Touchers. That's the interaction that we're talking about, right? I mean... Like, so I just don't know why 3 power first strike. We have infinite power first strike. So... Right on, Oni. Thank you. So, Mortify or drop a Twilight Panther. Like, I'm worried that they drop something that gives stuff trample. That's all right. We can live with that. Let's get this down and try to get another creature in the graveyard for the Dead Revels. And I think if we start looping our Death Touchers, we'll be okay. Sad to have such a low use of mana that turn, but that's kind of what happens when you get color screwed. All right, so we're gonna, unfortunately, we're gonna accept Trample here probably, and Panther the Rendhorn, and then we will mortify that Zagana without hesitation. Oh, they want to not offer the Rendhorn and say, hey, how about you take 3 instead? Will we take that offer? Oh no, they're gonna offer it. Good. So I'll take the 3. I really want this trade, though. Whoa. Come, go away. I'm trying to figure out if we're chumping for some life total. I guess we can do that later, and there may be a bigger creature to do it with, so I'm going to just take this 3 for now. Sure would have been great if that were a Plains, but it actually doesn't matter too much here, because we can still get everything done we want to do. We get to mortify Zagana. We don't get to do everything we want to do, but we get to mortify Zagana and Dead Revels, so that's cool. And we're not blocking with the Vampire, so we are attacking And maybe I leave the 1/1 back to chump now. I want to keep our life total up because I think that's how we lose this, is that we die before we take advantage of the value-rific engines we have with the Dead Revels and the Death Touchers. But sure would, you know, give me a Plains here, and I think we're in great shape. Yeah, Vargan, I guess I'd just say that the quality of the fallback play of the portal, I don't think is the tipping point on play it or not, right? It has, you know, its primary function is another flexible death touch creature, effectively. Oh, going for that. Well, I'm glad I stayed back to chump. We'll do that. And then the vampire should be able to just block the goblin from here. Frustrating, but at least the Panther can come down and the Enforcer can come down, and there are 2 Death Touchers on the ground now. So again, it feels like they need like something to punch through damage before these engines of advantage we have fulfill their potential. Great. Again, not quite what we want to see, but with everything, we're only taking damage in the air now, and this board was already stopping this board. So let's go ahead and risk a Thrall here. We have the Panther activation, and if this resolves, they did have some blue. Again, they don't look like a counterspell blue deck, but now that's another thing that we can let die and get back, or not let die. If they kill it, we can get it back with Dead Revels, and it's now our win condition as well. And if this board holds for this turn, that's great. They're digging. Maka is nothing. And hey, it's like we have 4 Blade Jugglers or something. I forgot we had Blade Jugglers in this deck. It's really weird how few have shown up for us. And I'm not sure we're going to play it this turn. Let's send the Thrall and see if they want to get in the way or not. And that will tell us a lot about that Juggler. I'm willing to do it because the fallback here after the Juggler is we also get Panther with another activation. And that's just a lot of defense on the ground here. Oh, and another Thrall is so good. So good. They should have a tough time breaking through that. I'm not sure what... They need like a Gates Ablaze and more gates or something. Another gate and a Gates Ablaze would hurt. They don't look like a gate deck, so I'm not really expecting that. Savage Smash is good, but again, we get to play another one and then go back and get that one. So for withstanding Savage Smashes here, that's a good sign. Love an untapped land. Any basic... You can even give me another swamp. I'd take another swamp at this point. Prefer a plains, but land would give us a lot of flexibility, I think. And we can Dead Revels that now if we think that's necessary. But I'm not even sure it is. I think we kind of got what we needed from that. Unfortunately not a land, so we can't Thrall with 2 activations. We could Trumpet with 2 activations. We could Thrall with 1 activation and decide that's enough. I think that's fine. Thrall with 1 activation is still good. So we have effectively 2 Death Touchers and a 3 power on the ground, which helps with a lot of what's going on. Okay, Shark to Crab's real. But I think we have enough to work around that, and that's a good draw for helping with that. I'm going to attack definitely with the Thrall because Shark to Crab is going to tap it down anyway. Plus, if they don't chump here, we get interesting stuff. So with 7 mana, we go 6/5. We could get back Thrall and Vampire, but we actually have some good blocks going out there right now. We can do Juggler and see what comes up, and still have double activation here. So we have 3 Death Touchers, so Shark to Crab can get 1 tap down, but then we're still pretty good against everything else. But maybe we do just want to Revels back our stuff as well, so we can go like this. Again, a little bit risky, taking some risk here. But I think, again, we have a nice board relative to what Oppo is showing. And then if we get Vamp, I think we just get to attack and win, right? When you play a Vampire and they're at 4 and you have all these creatures, it becomes damned if you do, damned if you don't. And the Troll is coming, so we really just hope that they don't do anything to disrupt the Vampire swing away plan. Yeah, so that's what I expected there, but I don't think that's going to be enough. We just have to leave enough back. Oh yeah, we got it. I mean, they should just be scooping, right? I can't see how we... I think we just have it in the bag. Right? They would need to be able to block and not kill our creatures, but they can't block our stuff without killing it, and the Vampire gets us there. So, wow. I was ready to notch our first match loss, and Oppo gave us just enough of a window to play to some outs that came through, and that second game was great. That'll certainly go in our great games, and this... feels great to come back and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. I don't know if Jimmy is tanking or rage quitting. But guess what, Jimmy? I can sit here and yammer until all the fuses are gone. It looks like that might be what's happening here. So ask me anything. I get you, Jimmy. I feel you, buddy. if I snatched defeat from the jaws of victory as you have, I too would be a little salty, but there's no reason to do this to people. Let's see, there was another, the wacky format is not limited, so I wasn't too interested in doing any of that, but also this account has 5,000 gold on it now too, so what we'll do when we finish this event, unless it takes us to noon, I mean, if we 5-0 or 5-1 this thing, it could actually just take the rest of the stream. So we'll see. Keeping It Surreal asks, do you think they are going to work to bring human versus human drafting to Arena? At some point, unless they change priorities. It was always on our list. It was always the intent. I believe Wizards really wants Arena to continue blossoming into the frontline digital Magic experience where full authenticity lives, where people can go and know that if they want to play real Magic, they can do it here. And I think to accomplish that, you just need to have 8 humans drafting in a pod together. So I'll say this, if I were still at Wizards, I would still be arguing for that, but it wasn't like it was a big argument. When I was there, it was just what everybody wanted. We just had to weigh it against what else we wanted to accomplish, and you're trying to come up with the most life-changing features for your game at this point. You know, Arena got good enough to go into open beta with. It turned that corner and got to open beta readiness, and now it's trying to get to out of beta readiness, you know, drop the beta tag readiness, and you start to ask yourself, as a team member and as a leader on that team, what is truly essential? Like, we cannot drop the beta tag while this is true. That you need that list. And I think they would probably put 8 human pod drafting on the not essential to leaving beta. So it may not be until after beta ends even that feature gets added, but I think in the long run of the product it's inevitable given their goals for it. Can you see a world where East of 84 asks, can you see a world where Moto dies, Magic Online? Yes. I mean, none of this is going to survive the heat death of the universe, so it's all pretty inevitable, but in terms of when Magic Online will go down, it probably won't take that long. And I expect it will be a matter of sunsetting Magic Online is going to be a matter of business. It's going to be a matter of whether or not it has an audience and a business model that justifies its existence to Hasbro. Like, Hasbro is a publicly traded corporation, and they have obligations to their shareholders to pursue profit, and it's going to ultimately come down to that. Right now, it has enough of an audience and does enough things that Arena doesn't, that it's healthy, it's fine. But at some point, as Arena becomes more and more fully featured and goes farther and farther back, I could see a time where they sunset Magic Online. And it could happen without Arena fully taking on all of the features of Magic Online. Like, maybe I could see Magic Online dying before Arena had Vintage, for example. It's not as simple as, you know, again, it's going to be a business decision, not a we owe our players this suite of digital Magic experiences, and therefore we will not make this change until we have successfully offered these digital Magic experiences elsewhere. That's not how that's going to work. It's a fundamentally about whether or not keeping the lights on with Magic Online is net profit or net loss. And as soon as it becomes net loss for a long enough period of time that doesn't seem like they can come up with a way to turn it around, that's when they will sunset it. And it will not have anything to do with what Arena has accepting the fact that the more features Arena gets, the more population Magic Online will lose to Arena, which will drive towards that decision point faster. Do you know why Moto Dev team never worked on their UI? I mean, dude, excuse me if you're not a dude, but friend, working on the Magic Online UI is what I did for the first 3 years that I was at Wizards, basically. When I started, Magic Online was in version 3.0, and then transitioned to the version you see now while I was working there. And if that's not a UI overhaul, I don't know what is. Now, you may not be happy with the UI, and I wouldn't blame you for that. And I would like to say that I was brought in late on that project, and it was my job to help get that version of Magic Online into a shippable state, not to redesign it to the vision that I thought we should have for it. And one of the big problems with Magic Online is that it is not, in terms of the features people want for it and stuff, is it's a beast. It's a very fragile, risky beast. Like there's a lot of risk involved in making big changes to Magic Online for a lot of different reasons that they're just kind of saddled with now. There are fundamental platform decisions made on the product that hamstring the capability of that team to iterate and do quick UI changes. It's really a difficult piece of software to iterate on. There's huge risk to iterating on the Magic Online code base that doesn't exist with some other code bases, I think. And it made, while I was there, it made the appetite for significant change to Magic Online low because of the risks involved. Anyway, did some AMA as our Oppo rage quit on us. But we can move on with some play now. We'll go to 3.0 and be really happy about that. Original source code was built in the late 90s. That's about right, because it went into closed beta. Went into beta in 2001. So yeah, didn't you ask that yesterday? Or is this where we talk about AI now and VR and Magic in VR, Milk Crate? We already had this discussion. I'm going to check chat here before we move on, though. Sorry for the I really think people have been underrating Gruul lately. Well, we're seeing Gruul. We've faced 3 straight Gruul. Yeah, I'm of the mind that I will take any open seat, which is what one of the things I really like about this format is that in GRN, in Guilds of Ravnica, for example, I was looking to be in Dimir. I wanted to be in Dimir. I was ready to fight to be in Dimir. I thought it was that important to try and see if you could be in Dimir. And that was okay because I really loved playing that deck. But the drafting is much more interesting in this format, where I go in with no expectations, preferences, or anything like that. I just want to see what's open. Opponent is going first. If we have a land in the first 2, we... nah. Tried to talk myself into it, but no. I'm gonna... keep the demise. Early is when demise is best, so having them both here is fine. Aminkron asks, do you know what the idea behind stuff like the current Pandemonium draft? Is there some percentage of player base that likes those events, or is it just testing things out? Both. But mainly, there are players who genuinely like it. And actually, I'm not one of them, but a lot of streamers really want that kind of event because it provides some wackiness and big, you know, one of the goals of these weird formats is to provide streamers with big Johnny Timmy style moments. So you get a lot of Johnny Timmy in these weirdo formats because that's the excitement level they're looking for, especially for streaming. We're hardcore over here. Although we have done some of the wacky formats, but I'm more motivated by trying to complete our 4x of rares and mythics. I did some counting yesterday. This account has, I think, 31 rare slots left to fill and 20-something mythic slots left to fill. So we're getting close. Do we want to mortify inheritance? On the one hand, they're not pressuring us. We're actually winning this race. On the other hand, we have lots of removal for anything else, and it's pretty annoying, so I'm going to do it. Let's not even take the one. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it again. That's why I kept these. I just figured they would find their targets early. But the cat beatdown is awfully weird. It's our 4th base green matchup. All right, no reveling that. Land, please. All right. I was willing to take a gate there. I know I wanted the basic, but I so wanted to land, I was willing to take the gate even. But this is perfect. A real threat. Uh-oh. 6 damage to target flying creature incoming. So we had a real threat, but get there, kitty. 20 kitty claw marks across the face. I'll take it. I guess it wasn't 20. Yeah, we did get the drain. Well, I wanted land, but you can slow down on that request now, deck. We're happy. We're good. You can stop. No more land required. We trading with that? We offering a trade? We could. Weird deck. They've shown 3 forests and only 1 green spell. Yeah, it seems like they're not getting their colors, although this is obviously helping unlock their deck. I'm just trying to figure out whether we're attacking here. And because we can't block, so but they may just hold back. Yeah, I'm going to stay back. See if they want to attack with their trumpeter. Because I actually don't want to lose. Oh, yeah, that's right. It couldn't kill it. Yeah, I should have just attacked. I don't know because my brain is fried. Yeah, I was thinking it would trade, but it wouldn't. It's okay. Oh, deck. Yeah, we'll try it. Now, if they want to pump, they can trade. So I'm gonna stay back on purpose this time. I'll play the land. Yeah, that's a problem. I feel like we're trying to close this out, and this play just probably unlocked 5 spells in their hand, and we are going to get heavily outclassed from here unless we find some action. Okay, that qualifies. Let's see if this can get there. Another one? Alright, well, we'll do this. That. I'm afraid we're going to wish we had that final payment for whatever they cast on their next turn, but we do have a Panther, so if it's on the ground, we can get in front. I'll take that Dead Rebels now. What a weird deck from Oppo. Really don't quite get it. No, we don't make that trade. I think we find Dead Rebels, we just win. Oh, we can't lose to this deck now. This is a fun card. I was saying this yesterday. I don't think it's a particularly playable limited card because its downside, its floor is too low. The floor on that card is in the gutter. Man. But it's a story-generating card. Like, this could be a huge story right now for Oppo. Or it could just be an angel. It could be 12 angels. But it is just an angel. Unfortunately, the angel is good enough in the air to be a real problem, and we don't have the oomph here. Might lose this game. As I said, you know, back when they played this first gate, I was like, okay, now we're in trouble. Or I'm still expecting them to have a lot of gasoline in here, and... But this seems like a very weird, weak gate deck that I would very much like to beat. I don't want to trade a cat for the grandma. If they come at us with the angel, though, I will. Who's freaking out over Clear the Mind? It's an established solid archetype, but I don't know about freaking out. Okay. This just doesn't do that much. Maybe we start attacking now, though. If they want to... Yeah, I think we have to start attacking. If we attack with everything, the Trumpeter can be blocked by both, and then we're trading Trumpeter for half the Oligarch. Well, Keeping It Surreal says they flipped and got 5 Wrecking Beasts, so I don't think it's... if it literally never flipped, we would have heard about that. But I do think... This is scary, of course. But we got to find a way to the finish line, so I'm going to send this stuff in. This deck has 4 Blade Jugglers, and we never see them. No, that's not true. We saw them in one game, but for 4 Blade Jugglers, we have not seen them very much in this event so far. I think we'll be dead to a gate deck before they deck themselves. All right. I mean, I kind of they may as well just get there, because I don't think we're winning this game. I don't feel for this guy. This is why these cards are bad, people. This is why they're bad. They're fun, and they have moments of goodness, but overall, maybe bad is too strong a word. That's a little hyperbolic. They are too high variance to be reliable. It's not making their cards worse, but it's also been... They've paid 6 mana to mulligan so far. I'm gonna say no blocks. Can't block the Spirit. Yeah, bad is just not very descriptive. It can be hard to understand what a Magic player means by calling something bad, you know? That's why I clarified. Because, you know, bad can mean like F, it's useless. It never does anything, you know? Well, we got our Revels. We can get... But we can't play it for cheap. We do get 1 Thrall back, though, so let's bring back the Thralls. Right, Keeping It Surreal, and I guess I was saying, rather than say bad, I should say things like, you shouldn't have this in your limited deck. You know, like that's... is a more specific and clear and useful piece of useful take on the card. No attacks though. Kind of waiting to die here. If we have a chance, I need to kind of focus here. Like I'm just waiting to die to these angels, but we do have enough removal that we're not done for yet. So we shouldn't just fold up the tent. Now we can put. No, we need to go... I think block here, and trade for the Spirit, and then take this, play the other Thrall, and then have 2 Thralls on the 4/6, losing 1, and then Thrall and Messenger on the 3/4. And I think that all happens in time to not die. Yeah, it can be tempting to just like to do this, but the trouble with this play is that then we lose the Thrall, we play our new Thrall, and now we have 5 power in the air, which isn't enough for the big angel. So it's risky in terms of where it puts our life total, but I think we have to play towards this sequence where we get both angels. Can do this. We're at low life, but gotta play our spells. We're gonna cast our Juggler and see if we can get some removal. Vampire is not bad, and now we just follow into the play that I was talking about and hope they just don't mirror match us out here. So that's great. I'm glad I snapped out of waiting to die mode. We have ways to win this, and I need to focus, because I start to feel that we're likely to lose feeling and then let it slip away unnecessarily. So let's focus. Let's win this. We're definitely playing the Vamp. And what attacks do we have? None. This hasn't helped them so far, but it sure is scary to know that anytime they play a creature, it could really hit us hard. Oh, we got to figure out how to get this. We just need to remove this angel before this mirror march. I keep saying mirror match, but before mirror march actually does something. And I keep looking for something, but yeah, 4 toughness just stone walls, so we'll keep building out a force so that if we can get the 4 toughness out of the way, we get a nice immediate attack in. Don't do it, man. Alright. Do we care about that? I guess we do, to the point of juggle Caracal on it. Or maybe we just there's no need to trade for it. Or I guess are we chumping is the question. We could chump with the Messenger, actually. That doesn't change our ability to trade with the angel in the air. So I think I'll actually do that. Not what we wanted to see. Still stuck. We just can't... With Oppo at 16 life and with all this 4 toughness, we're just in a little bit of trouble. Messenger plus Juggler would be better. The creatures are destroyed at the end of combat. There's no need to actually try and trade them. All right. Where's all our death touch? Interesting. Okay. right? I could count my lands too, Oppo, let me tell you. Lot of risk with that Mirror March, of course, but we must try and actually win the game. I'm not going to put the Vampire at risk, so we're definitely attacking there. The question is whether we're leaving the Juggler back as a hedge or trying to use it to close things out. There's risks here, but there's risk either way. If we're too conservative, we risk giving Oppo multiple draws to win the race. And if we attack, we risk losing the race to a lucky Mirror March or removal here. But I think I'm going to go for pressure. Oh, hey, Goman Edge, how you doing? All right, that could not have gone better in terms of a card for Oppo to find. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this first. Draw could be important. It wasn't, but it could have been. And I'm going to keep the Spirit back because if they get lucky on the march, that's what I'm going to be throwing in the way. What happened? Oh, wow, that's what happened. Funny. And that goes to the bottom. Right? Or does it get exiled? Where does it go? Bottom and random. Okay, so that's why I didn't show it. Bottom, random on bottom. Wow, we're lucky. Okay, we're still going to keep... yeah, we're not lucky on lands, but we're lucky on Oppo's amplifier turns. I'm going to risk it now, too. We're going to risk a big march. If they draw a creature and go nuts with it, but I want to put this pressure out. Whew! Did not think we were going to get that one. Right in the middle of that game, I found myself, I recognized that I was in waiting to die mode and decided right then and there I needed to either figure out what my path to a win was and go for it, or shut up and concede if you're just going to sit there and wait to die. So we recovered and found a way. Amplifier hit Krasis and killed it. Yeah, that was another good game. We're getting some good ones today. We lost the variance by flooding out like nobody's business, but they lost the variance battle even more so by whiffing on all their high upside variance type cards. Okay, so that was game one. What are we doing? They're a gate deck. Here's we could play ours. The angel, maybe we need an angel in the air. It's not very good for us with only only one gate, but the flyers felt super important. These are huge for their angels. Maybe this for the kitty. Portal for shenanigans? Okay, fine. We'll do portal shenanigans, and we'll take out a trumpeter to do so. And I'm going to do this as well. We'll go back to no red. Exposed to daylight. Maybe. I didn't really care about the march. We have Mortify. I'll just leave it at Mortify for now. We're running out of time. It's possible an Exposed should go in, and if we go to 3, we will consider that. Yeah, the binding does make it worth it. Okay, if we get to if we end up in 3, we'll find a slot for that. Sadly, I have to mulligan that. We'll keep this. And that. Ideally, we'd use Mortify on a creature, though, so if we can bring in enchant removal for that specific purpose, all the better. And Juggler. Yeah, this is a pretty good portal deck, isn't it? All things considered. We were thinking mostly about the first strike, but we have 2 Thralls and 4 Jugglers that also don't mind a portal. Should be able to juggle here, but we won't even show the land yet. Hard to do too many portal tricks on a menace, but we may just mortify that. We'll see. It's really just a hard to block 3/2. We can look to racing it just fine as well. Yeah, I'm pretty suspicious of 4 land, but Gate deck can just not have what it needs at the right time, so it could just be a clunky hand for Oppo, and we've certainly seen some clunky cards in their deck. No need to consider their Mortify now, since they have... I mean, unless we are worried they might draw something, but I think... now we'll go ahead and save it with a portal. I think that seems worth it. Value! Right on. Demise even better, but we're gonna just Thrall this turn. Assuming we don't need to, like, activate the Panther or something. Dead Thrall incoming. There was no pauses until we played a flyer, so you knew it was one of their flyer tools. Nice. Let's exile the Angel so we never see that in our face again. We can certainly mortify here, but gate decks are super scary, and they could easily drop a Ram, or I guess a Ram is not even that much worse than the Spirit. And haven't seen anything that makes me want to, like, feel like we need to fire this off now. No indestructible or counter magic or anything. So let's be patient. They showed enough gates in game 1 that I think that's what they were going for, yeah. I mean, maybe we didn't see a ton of gate payoffs, but we can call it a 5-color gate deck in the sense that they are playing a lot of different spells in different colors through the gate, through uses of gates. We saw enough gates in the first game that I presume that that's what they're up to, but it could just be five-color nonsense. Now we're gonna have to use our own mortify, and I just should have. I think I was getting into talking, but I should have just mortified that rather than take the 3. I'll remember to do it this time. No more taking 3. Ooh, although now they're saying they're giving me info. Thank you for that info. They both have menace, so the Panther can't get either one. And with 4, with a double activation, this is actually a 5-3 menace to the 3-2 menace. So we're going to actually mortify the Trumpeter and hope that we find some help. If we get another creature, we can hold this stuff back and look to 2-for-1 ourselves and get to 0, get to stable. All right, yeah, it's going to require a 2-for-1, but we can do it. Oh, sorry. 0-2 to traditional draft. You mean you don't get those sweet 3 wins, or you 0-3 to ranked, one of the two. I mean, we don't even need to activate here, right? It's all dying. All right, we get to play an immediate threat. It had menace, we had to. Well, presenting lethal. Let's see if it stays that way. Nope. In fact, that's real bad. But if we draw a creature, we could still end up presenting... A 2-power creature would still present follow-up lethal. Oh, not anymore. All right, I think we're going to game 3. Oppo's pile of random cards. Looks like it's going to get there. Oh, vampire. Vampire means we are... I should have waited to play the vampire, but we're not out of it. I want to see them have a land here. Still not out of it, but we wanted a land. All right, we're not out of it. Oh, I should have attacked with the Panther. I'm going to get rid of this right now. Oppo should be at 8. We'll see if that costs us. Why not demise the Grudian? Because a 3/4 flyer was going to kill us? Have I ever watched The Lobster? No, I don't know what that is. They have Skewer. We've seen Skewer, so we could just lose to a Skewer off the top. Not a Skewer off the top, but that's quite a top deck. Alright, you're gonna make us do this in 3, huh? Looks like they're gonna make us do this in 3. Man. I'll give him the credit for remembering to attack. Let's get this deck. I do not want to... That deck is a mess with a couple of bombs. Let's dodge the bombs and destroy the mess. We're talking about adding an expose. For what? Vampire? Vampire did a little bit of work there, but not a super much. Not a ton. Messenger. Messenger seems pretty bad against the angels and whatnot over there. This is a continuation of yesterday's draft, correct? We're running the portal already. I don't know if you're saying Alpha Ferg, if you're saying why is it in or add it, but it's in because First Strike, Death Touch, and the Thrall and the Juggler. But actually, I think I am... What if we cut the portal? Seems like our problem is up in the air. I don't know. I had one mountain in before for the 2 Trumpeter. In fact, maybe what I'll do is go back, since we're on the play, let's go back to 2 Trumpeter and a mountain and cut the portal. Because we're on the play here. I'm going to do this. No, you don't do things like brand just for the Hydra or whatever. I mean, Hydra you just beat because you either have your one of your... We have 2 final payments and a Mortify. That's our plan for Hydra. Our real plan for Hydra is that it's at the bottom of their deck and stays there. 5 land is so rough for this deck. We really don't want 5 land, but we have a 2 that would help if we drew Jugglers, and Vindictive Vampire is one of our better cards, so I am going to keep this. But I'm a little nervous. We could easily flood out of this one. But we've also shown, you know, that we can use some land in the long game here. But yeah, punished immediately. It's the rule of Magic. You keep a 5-lander. It is a 6th land on top 95% of the time. Rude gesture at you, deck. Rude gesture. But again, that's just completely in range of of the draws. It's not like, oh, I have 5 land, therefore there's no land left in my deck. It's like, that is the risk of the keep. Oppo has Mortify mana up. We'll see if they make use of it. And yeah, this isn't a gate deck. It doesn't seem like a gate deck as much as a 5-color good stuff deck that is using gates to accomplish that. And oh my god, F you deck. Just F you. If you're gonna keep throwing more land at me, at least give me the dang mountain at this point. Gosh, so frustrating. But that's Magic. Turns out we still have 9 lands in our deck, and they're going to show up, some of them. That kitty needs to live or we're in trouble. There's expecting to be a little bit more flood prone, and then there's this. 3 spells to 9 lands is not going to win you many Magic games, but we're not even out of this yet, so yeah, we'll see. I think the cat's going to die right now, along with our chances in this matchup. Now I'm just deflated, Spain. I'm beyond rage. We're just like, alright. You're gonna have these games sometimes, and this was our day. Especially rough after Oppo literally top decks Hydroid Krasis to not lose game 2. It does feel like this is a newer drafter, and I hope they have some respect for how lucky they got. Yeah, that's about as flooded as I've ever been on this stream. We kept 2 spells, 5 land, and we are... let's see if we can find... Now I kind of want to find another land. Let's find another land, yeah, I'm rooting for it now. I was just going to scoop, but now I want to see if we can find land number 13 on top. Lucky 13. Come on. Worst luck ever. One time. We need some good luck to have the worst luck. Oh! An actual spell. There we go. That's still pretty good, though. We found another one. Still 13. Kind of qualifies as finding the 13th land. What a kick in the privates. We are having fun. That game maybe not so much, although funny. Funny is fun. There's our foul to give. We're up against it now, but we're already at profit. Got our full buy-in back from the prize alone, plus grind. Aren't we having fun? That's my best Lucille. Yeah, keep this. Lawn Boy 34. Looks like there's a fellow fish fan across the way. Lawn Boy is the name of a Fish album / song. Lawn Boy playing slow. Maybe it's 4:20 in their time zone. Trumpeter is a more guaranteed juggler. If you can find some land, this hand will get pretty explosive. Ugh, come on, deck. The old opposites. Is that your play? That's your game, Magic Gods? The old flood to screw. F you. Just gonna have 5 life it here. Okay, we're in business. Definitely better to be screwed than flooded, and we're seeing why right now. When you break out of a screw, you can do it in time to recover. It's awfully hard to recover from a flood because you just don't have the tools to recover. At least as you're trying to recover from Mana Screw, you generally have a bunch of tools in your hand after you break through. It's a great card against us. We're going to have to find removal for that spider eventually, but right now we still get to have attack for 3 at least. I'm down with that. I mean, we don't get to play our juggler this turn or whatever, but that was a huge problem for us. I'm pretty thrilled with that. Maybe they have another one? I'll give you credit, Vargan, for getting that joke in on time. No value Lizrog. It lets us attack with everything. Trading their 5-drop off for a Blade Juggler could not be better for us. We're going to drop another Juggler while we can here and look for land. Get those Thralls online and try and close this one out. So let's try and actually remember what we're playing against. Looks Simic-y. But we got an Azorius Gate and a Plaza, so maybe the kind of Simic deck I end up in these days, which is the Simic plus Gate kind of thing. I guess we just payment and then leave Mortify. By payment leaving Mortify, they can't get us with anything hasty, and in fact, if they play a stabilization play with a creature, we just get to Mortify it before we even untap, and then we have Thrall to close out the final 2 without even attacking unless they Angel here. Yeah, that's not going to do it. They need more. All right, now it's over. Simic with some gate leanings. I think that just represents more support for the Death Touch approach. I'm willing to bring in the portal, try and get him with the portal. That was fun. Wait for the kitty. Yeah, I like that. Let's do this until we see something. I don't think we need to bring the angel here yet, and I don't see any exposed targets yet, so... Sin, Sign, thank you for the follow. Oh, that reminds me, we're close to... Yeah, I'm at 2,997 followers. We're closing in on 3K. That's cool. This opening hand is, on the other hand, not cool. This one isn't really either, but we'll go look for a swamp and try and make it work. Couple pulls for a swamp to enable the juggler. The Orzhov Gate would even work for a first draw here. Not a swamp. Not a swamp, but now... If we do draw a swamp, we still might get Juggler online. We've managed to overcome some mana frustrations early in some of our games, and in others not. We'll see which way this goes here, but need to find black soon, or this hand just does nothing else but make a Panther. Like, we can't beat a gate deck from here without black mana. Swamp me. Yes. Okay. We can do stuff. What do we want to do? Probably make Death Touchers. Let's make the most expensive Death Toucher. We could probably get in for an attack here, though, so we can do that first. If they want to block the Panther, we will take the trade. I didn't think so. Trickster is pretty good against Death Touch, so we got a... Or not Trickster, sorry, Duelist, Fairy Duelist. Can't really play around it very successfully, but we should be aware of it. That hurt, but again, if we get another swamp here, I think we can really get stable. Not quite. Guess it's Enforcer, cross fingers. It could be Blade Juggler. It could be Panther, Blade Juggler, Need Swamp, or we're doomed. Because then we get a Swamp. It doesn't do much for us. Alright, just Enforcer and hope it's enough. Doesn't feel good here, but the black just took too long to show up. They gave us a lot of time, too. Messed around with a couple of plazas, but we just did not have the oomph. And now I'm compelled to block, so that stinks. If we get a swamp, we have a Death Toucher and a Chump, so we would not be dead if they don't do anything else. No. Man, this deck has been on fire if it just gets anything close to a reasonable draw. Back on the play, does that change anything? No, didn't really see anything worthy of expose either, so I'm just going to stick with this. Come on, let me see one of those sweet draws. How about a nice, beautiful curve out? Not a beautiful curve out, but also not a mulligan. Oppo has mulliganed. Gate decks can be rough that way. A lot of ways to have a really no-function opening hand in greedy decks. Would love to see a 2-dot creature on top. No such luck. Well, at least we have a 3-dot creature, so we can go Grudian into Vampire. I was just going to say, will we do it again on the hybrid? And this time, I'm going to say no. Because we have time to demise it, and we may even be able to set up a spot where we feel we can demise in response to an adapt, or we may find that we end up trading it off before then. No, I think our needs are even enough that this is kind of a 50-50-ish type deck. I don't think I want to lean swamp that heavily. We really want our white. And yeah, we're going to say, nah, we're not going to get into that fight right now. They mulliganed. Let's see that. And they kind of have been playing... Haven't they played lands pre-combat? Maybe that was the other matchup. I was trying to understand if the sign... Sometimes you can see that your opponent is a consistent, I play my land out pre-combat, and so that if they attack without playing one, they just don't have it. But yeah, that must have been the other game, because Oppo clearly had it there. Now, they're showing Counterspell mana. Let's start with an attack. I'm not going to block the hybrid right now with a Grudian. So we will all attack. And I like Panther. Fish for counter. Yeah, they've got something. And I'll throw in the Trumpeter. I don't really care too much about either of these, but the Trumpeter actually does block the hybrid, so if they want to counter it, great. If not, we're also happy. They let that happen. But that was some telling pausing. Let's see if anything comes of it here. Maybe it was something else entirely. Does kind of feel like Duelist, and maybe they're offering there. I'm going to throw the Trumpeter in front, because what do I care? Like, do your worst. I think they have Duelist, and they were expecting me to try and trade with the Panther. And now they see that the Duelist just produces a bounce anyway. Oh, Biomancy. Okay. That's what we were looking at. Sure. It's a good one for them because it doesn't put a counter on there and prevent the adapt later. But we're trading Biomancer for Trumpeter and some tempo, and we can live with that. Or Biomancy, not Trumpeter dies and we find our mountain, but that's okay. We get Grudian plus final payment and an activation, or we can put Vampire plus activation. Actually, I think I like... Well... I'm a little worried about Quench, but it doesn't seem like a Quench deck. I'm going to go for the Vampire here. Oh, maybe it is a Quench deck. No, we got it. All right. And I will risk the Panther. The Fairy Duelist play is a real blowout if they have it, but... At least we'll draw that out, and then... Again, we still have a potential where we can set up a Grotesque Demise in response to a hybrid activation if they are not an attentive player. Your highest level players aren't going to generally risk 6 mana into open 3 black mana in the format, but we haven't necessarily seen that from Oppo. He hasn't played poorly or anything, but I feel comfortable saying he regarding Lawn Boy 34. Couple of final payments, but we can't do 2 final payments and a Panther activation. But we can Grudian... I'm just going to keep all of our instants ready, because we can Demise and final payment on the current setup. So let's see what Oppo is ready to do. Waiting. They're probably assessing the risk factor here, given my open mana. Looks like they're going to try Guardian. No, Aeromunculus. Okay, cool. We're not going to untap without casting a spell, though. We're just got to figure out which one we want to go for. And through what payment. Let's just use the Demise now. We don't get the extra special blowout, but we get demise. Yeah, let's demise the hybrid. We don't get to blow them out for 6 mana of value, but we get some here. Oh, are they going to pump it? Maybe they have a pump spell. Okay. Doesn't change much, right? We lose the Panther, but... Oh, we can actually just now use Final Payment and sack Panther, though. That's the other thing we do here. So we'll sacrifice a creature or enchantment. We're going to target the Aeromunculus and sack the Panther. East doesn't like that play? Oh, okay, you do. It's like, I thought that was pretty good. The Growth Chamber may hit us as a 4/4 once, but I'm cool with that. We're going to attack with the Vampire and drop the Thrall. Or we could drop the Grudian and, again, have the Final Payment up. Yeah, maybe that's okay. Is that okay? Nah, I'm going to do the Thrall. Let's get on with the attack here. If they want to use their whole turn on the Guardian, that's fine. I'm assuming this is actually probably going to be a threat of activation 2 damage, but I would prefer it to be a activation 4 damage. Now they know we've got the Grudian. Ooh, and the Juggler to boot. We could payment the Rendhorn and get in with the Vampire and then drop the Grudian or the Juggler if we're willing to go to 14. I like that. I think we take the Juggler both to draw the card, and because we're winning this race, so we don't need to be thinking in terms of defensive Death Touch, but offensive 3 power. Spider's a pretty good draw. Grudian and Panther can start attacking into that, but everything else is a little weak to that. However, with Vampire, we start to get some inevitability from the trigger, the death trigger there. We'll do this and this. And we'll consider the implications of Vampire and our board with an all-out attack next turn after we see what Oppo is going to do. Excuse me, I'm going to try and clear my throat with a mute. A little better, for me anyway. Okay, there's technically kind of like a little bit here. Okay, if we swing away with everything but the Vampire, they make this big, and this gets eaten, and they take 2 from that, and then we get through for 3, 4, 5, and they drop down to 3, and then we have a Blade Juggler, a Panther, a Grudian, and a Vampire that should threaten to drain them for lethal unless they gain life. So that says to me, let's do it. We got to throw some stuff away here, but it presents a lethal that Oppo really needs an answer for they need to kill the vampire or gain life, and I'm gonna stake our event life on this play, because if it goes poorly, we're just out of this event. But I think this is correct. It really makes them have to answer this immediately. The druid could block and prevent some of the damage, but it would be chumping. Yeah, there's a lot of risk here. This is not some foolproof plan. The key is Oppo's life total and the health of that vampire. So far, blocking as expected. Hopefully they don't have another Growth Chamber Guardian to go fetch. I think I've seen that once in this limited format, somebody going and getting another one. We don't need the red if we draw something cool, so I'm going to do it this way. That was not a cool draw. If this vampire lives, I think we got it. The one consideration is that the incubation druid can prevent damage without dying. So if we attack with all three of these, Oppo survives by going... if we attack with everything, they like go eat, trade, and chump. So we get nothing through... Yeah, they can stay at 1 under the current circumstance. So I think we send in the Juggler and... Yeah, this is funny. The incubation druid is in a sneaky little spot right here. They can't attack. Not really. I guess we do this. Then they have to block. And we keep one panther. We keep the panther back. Maybe I'm just supposed to attack with the Grudian since it's always going to trade here, and I am just throwing away the Juggler. They go into their hand. I'm looking at their hand. I didn't like attacking with all three because they could go to 1 with us with nothing but a vampire, and then maybe they do find a line that they can attack and win. Powerful. But it's still going to kill the Grudian, so we get our drain out of it. They still can't attack here. They block the cat with the druid. All right, how about a grasping thrall off the top? Then we eat Druid, but then have literally nothing back, and they showed no ability to kill the vampire, and they had no ability to kill the vampire. They drew the ability to kill the vampire. So we played to them saying, you need specifically... I mean, I told you going into this that it wasn't foolproof, but... Now, I guess, no, what am I doing? Don't block. They come in for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then we have a bunch of removal outs to win the game. So we have Mortify, Grotesquemize doesn't get there. So a bunch. We don't have a bunch. We have Grasping Thrall and Mortify if we play it this way. Really annoying that we're down to 2 outs now. Yeah, we have to say no blocks and hope we hit one of our 2 outs. Do I get to be sad about this one? Man, chat, I feel great about how we played this one. I just feel great. Like, this whole event, we've played super well. And we have fought through some really rough luck. And we've just been top-decked multiple times and flooded and screwed multiple times. And it's annoying. Well, Lawn Boy, enjoy your next show. You got incredibly lucky 2 games straight. Chin up, though. We got our buy-in back, plus all the profit that surrounds that. But it's tough. It's really tough. You look, you know, there are some records that just do not tell the story. And when you glance at the history of this event and see, oh, he went 3-2 with that one. Whew, that was a rough 3-2. We get 4 rares and mythics closer towards capping out our collection. That's one of them, yeah, get that one. So now we're in a spot, though. It is, it's 11:20.